Sahih al-Bukhari 951. Narrated al-Bara. I heard the Prophet delivering a khutbah saying, the first thing to be done on this day, first day of Eid al-Adha, is to pray, and after returning from the prayer we slaughter our sacrifices, in the name of Allah, and whoever does so, he acted according to our sunnah, traditions. Sahih al-Bukhari 952. Narrated Aisha. Abu Bakr came to my house while two small Ansari girls were singing beside me the stories of the Ansar concerning the day of Buth. And they were not singers. Abu Bakr said protestingly, musical instruments of Satan in the house of Allah's Messenger. It happened on the Eid day and Allah's Messenger said, O Abu Bakr, there is an Eid for every nation and this is our Eid. Sahih al-Bukhari 953. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Allah's Messenger never proceeded for the prayer on the day of Eid al-Fitr unless he had eaten some dates. Anas also narrated, the Prophet used to eat odd number of dates. Sahih al-Bukhari 954. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, whoever slaughtered his sacrifice before the Eid prayer should slaughter again. A man stood up and said, this is the day on which one has desire for meat, and he mentioned something about his neighbors. It seemed that the Prophet, I believed him. Then the same man added, I have a young she-goat which is dearer to me than the meat of two sheep. The Prophet permitted him to slaughter it as a sacrifice. I do not know whether that permission was valid only for him or for others as well. Sahih al-Bukhari 955. Narrated al-Bara bin Azib. The Prophet delivered the khutbah after offering the prayer on the day of Nahr and said, whoever offers the prayer like us and slaughters like us, then his nusuk, sacrifice, will be accepted by Allah. And whoever slaughters his sacrifice before the Eid prayer, then he has not done the sacrifice. Abi Burda bin Niyar, the uncle of al-Bara, said, O Allah's Messenger, I have slaughtered my sheep before the Eid prayer and I thought today is a day of eating and drinking, not alcoholic drinks, and I like that my sheep should be the first to be slaughtered in my house. So slaughtered my sheep and took my food before coming for the prayer. The Prophet said, the sheep which you have slaughtered is just mutton, not a nusuk. He, Abu Burda, said, O Allah's Messenger, I have a young she-goat which is dearer to me than two sheep. Will that be sufficient as a nusuk on my behalf? The Prophet said, yes, it will be sufficient for you, but it will not be sufficient as a nusuk for anyone else after you. Sahih al-Bukhari 956. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet used to proceed to the Musalla on the days of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. The first thing to begin with was the prayer, and after that he would stand in front of the people and the people would keep sitting in their rows. Then he would preach to them, advise them and give them orders, i.e. khutbah. And after that if he wished to send an army for an expedition, he would do so, or if he wanted to give an order, he would do so, and then depart. The people followed this tradition till I went out with Marwan, the governor of Medina, for the prayer of Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. When we reached the Musalla, there was a pulpit made by Kathir bin Az-Salt. Marwan wanted to get up on that pulpit before the prayer. I got hold of his clothes, but he pulled them and ascended the pulpit and delivered the khutbah before the prayer. I said to him, by Allah, you have changed the Prophet's tradition. He replied, O Abu Sa'id, gone is that which you know. I said, by Allah, what I know is better than what I do not know. Marwan said, people do not sit to listen to our khutbah after the prayer, so I delivered the khutbah before the prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 957. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger used to offer the prayer of Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr and then deliver the khutbah after the prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 958 and 959 and 960 and 961. Narrated Ibn Jurayj. Atta said, Jabir bin Abdullah said, the Prophet went out on the day of Eid al-Fitr and offered the prayer before delivering the khutbah. Atta told me that during the early days of Ibn Zubayr, Ibn Abbas had sent a message to him telling him that the adhan for the Eid prayer was never pronounced in the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, and the khutbah used to be delivered after the prayer. Atta told me that Ibn Abbas and Jabir bin Abdullah had said there was no adhan for the prayer of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Atta said, I heard Jabir bin Abdullah saying, the Prophet stood up and started with the prayer, and after it he delivered the khutbah. When the Prophet of Allah finished the khutbah, he went to the women and preached to them, while he was leaning on Bilal's hand. Bilal was spreading his garment and the ladies were putting alms in it. I said to Ada, do you think it incumbent upon an imam to go to the women and preach to them after finishing the prayer and khutbah? Ada said, no doubt it is incumbent on imams to do so, and why should they not do so?